Welcome back to Dream Fish Keeping, where fish dreams come true. Today I want to talk to you about guppies. My favorite strain of guppies are the Vienna guppies, and they're actually in this tank right here behind me. I got, 20 or 30 of them growing out in there that I do hope to give away at some point. I have 3 other separate 15-gallon tanks for 3 different types of guppies I'm trying to breed right now. Normally you wouldn't want to breed strains of guppies in just one tank. Some people recommend up to 7 different tanks for one strain of guppies. In the event that maybe you had a whole tank succumb to some illness and they all died, you'd want to have backup fish to keep your strain going. I've kept various strains in the past, but right now I only keep one type. I've noticed that it splits into 3 different color types of guppies when they're babies, predominantly yellow or blue. Those are the main 2 different paths that the fish can go when they're born. But I did also come across one guppy that had babies and all the female babies had bright red tails. I'm assuming this is some sort of trait that was bred out from the past, maybe out of a red tail. It's kind of what it looks like to me, but I really don't have any idea. What I'm doing right now is giving one of the tanks I have to those 4 females in with one of my best male guppies. And then there's the classic yellow, which I think is what the fish is meant to look like. That's the standard, and then everything else are just, it doesn't breed completely 100% true. It's about 50-50 from what I've seen so far. As I progress these 3 distinct lines, hopefully I can get it to the point where they're all breeding what they're supposed to be turning out as. The blue line of guppies, well, they are what it sounds. They're just all blue. The males have some yellow in them, and they're still young, relatively, so I think they may turn out with more patternation or color. So far, they've kind of been dull comparatively. The yellow guppies are stunning. They're super bright. They've got orange, yellow, black to contrast those 2. They just look amazing. They're definitely my favorite guppy. Shout out to Corey from Aquarium Co-op for making it possible for pretty much anybody to have those guppies. I guess I can show you some examples of the fish when they're younger because of this tank. I've got a whole bunch there. Yellow, blue, female, male, everything is just in there growing out. Those are the guppies that didn't make the breeding pool because they were too young. Now they're just an extra tank of guppies I've got. This is a 20-gallon long. I found that these guppies don't predate on their offspring like some of the other strains I've had. In other words, these guppies are not likely to eat their babies, but I still don't trust the process entirely. I like to give it 3 or 4 days where the babies can grow up in a breeder box, and then I can dump them in and then they'll be left alone by the parents. I like to feed my guppies primarily brine shrimp, baby brine shrimp, but that's not all I feed them. I also feed them guppy pellets, which I actually have. I got these off of Amazon for maybe 15 bucks. I'll try to leave a link in the description if I remember. But pretty much any guppy over 3 weeks old can eat these. They're not real big granules. Okay. I do have other foods. Big bag of fry starter. I'll feed this to the younger guppies. It just floats on the top of the water, and a guppy of any age, even a day old, can pick at this food and eat it. I've got Advil. I don't feed this to the guppies. I take this when my baby brine shrimp aren't hatching out properly or a pump blows or something and I get a headache. That's what this is for. Other foods. I've got some FLUVAL bug bites. These are fantastic. I don't feed these that often to the guppies. I actually feed these to my shrimp once a day and they love it. They go crazy for it. And from last video, got this stuff now. I've actually been using this to feed the new baby guppies. So far, so good. That's pretty much all I feed my guppies. They're not that much work or maintenance. Just do your water changes, make sure the water's clean. Get yourself some test strips, or if you like, get an API master test kit. They are a little pricey comparatively, but they're very accurate. You'll be able to know your water chemistry inside and out with one of these kits. And I do also have flake food. I can't find it right now because I rarely ever use it. I think I might even be using it over with my goldfish right now, so that's where that is, I think. All right, I'm sure there's some things I've missed, but without wasting any more time, let's go look at the tanks. I'll show you what I got going on. So these are the tanks right behind me. I've got this stand that fits roughly the 75-gallon. And it was custom made for these tanks, which I got from a really nice guy on Facebook Marketplace. This is Jungle Val attempting to grow in the bottom of the tank. I'm not great with plants. I've mentioned that before and I haven't gotten any better yet. I know what these plants want, massive amounts of root tabs, which I do not have right now. I should go on Aquarium Co-op and just get some more. So I've just been trying to baby these plants with fertilizer. I've been just slowly increasing the fertilizer and the light's pretty much maxed out. I get 8-9 hours of light a day. There's pretty heavy algae growth, which is fine. I did clean them before shooting this video, full disclosure. If you look at an older video, I think it's in there, or even the thumbnail of this video, there's a bunch of calcium carbonate buildup on the glass. There's a few different ways to get rid of this, but I had what's called barkeeper's friend. So I use this carefully because it's not safe for humans or fish or anything else that lives and breathes. And then if you see up here, there's these little things, they're over here as well. Those are just cloths that I've rubber banded around the heads of the filter because they're very powerful when they come on these tanks standard, and the guppies don't like to fight the current. They're a kind of a goofy fish that just wants to lazily swim around the tank unless food is involved. So I had to cut the current down. Plus, if I'm gonna be trying to raise fry up in here, I don't want them just spinning around in a circle all day long in the current. That's not fun for anybody. What's going on underneath here? The guy that sold it to me did a really good job of hooking this all up. He's got timers, he's got everything down here. There's even a light. I'll be honest, I don't use it. Everything's kind of automated down under here, but it's nice to know it's there if I ever find a reason for it. All right, I'm gonna spin the camera around now and show you some of the guppies close up. All right, tank number 1 is the blue tank. And I'll try to get this to focus on them. It's very hard to film with these glass panels the way they are. The front glass is curved. They have patterns on the side. I don't think they fully come in all the way, so I'm interested to see what these end up looking like as completely mature, all the way colored up guppies. But these are the best representation I have of the blue. I'll show you a bunch of the babies after this. They have long dorsal fins that match their tails, both black, and I think that looks pretty nice. I just love this strain of fish, so I'm willing to take it as far as I can. RIP Jungle Val. All right, so then the next tank is the standard Vienna Guppy, which, like I said many times, is my favorite. The females look like they don't have any color, but they do. They've got some spots on their tail with a little bit of orange and yellow tint. Then the males are really where it's at. They're little fireballs swimming around in the tank. And then this is a breeder box I use, or whenever a female looks like she's about to have her babies, I'll put her in here for just overnight, and she'll usually have them. And I'll put some yarn or something down and fill up half of it so that when the babies are free swimming, they can get out of the way and she won't eat them. And there's all the fry swimming around in there. I got a couple of lilies to keep them company. But I'll go ahead and I'll let these all into the main tank to free swim, and we'll see how that goes together. And then the third tank of guppies are the ones with the red tails that I mentioned earlier. I don't know where they came from. They do look a little bit like a streamlined version of the red tail guppy. I think I had a line of those, and they did look similar to this, so I wonder if maybe that's how they got to these guppies in the first place. But this is my favorite male right here. Really difficult to get them on film in this tank, but I do like everything else about the setups, and I like how much space they have to swim. 15 gallons gives them a little bit of room. My favorite thing about these guppies is the green glow that they give off from above. One day I will see this happen, I promise, but I can't wait to get about 100 of these into a big tub or pond, maybe outside even. I think that would look incredible. As promised, I am going to put the baby guppies in with the adult guppies, but first I want to feed the adult guppies just in case they get hungry and see this dumping in of all of the babies as a snack or something like that. I don't want them to get confused. Better to just feed them to begin with. Everybody's completely content with each other being in there. It does look a little more busy now that all these little guys are out swimming around, but gives them much more room. Although, when they're in this breeder box, they're basically in 15 gallons of water, just confined to this little bit of space, so I don't have to worry about an ammonia spike. I'm pretty interested to see how these little guys grow up. One other thing I wanted to mention about these fish after releasing them in here, they're real small, so it's hard to see, but some of them, like this one right here, are blue. So what I'm gonna do, because this tank is just supposed to be the original yellow strain, I'm gonna pull those blues out and I'm gonna move them over to the 20-gallon long with all the other random guppies that I've got growing out. That is all for today's video. I will keep you guys posted through shorts and maybe even future videos on the strain of guppies, how they're doing. In the meantime, I've got tons of other things I want to show you guys. Here's a preview of the next one. So this is what the box looked like when I first opened it up. It could be damaging.